for joining us on this episode of Tax Matters. I am Chiamaka Ohaochi. We begin by wishing all our viewers a very Merry Christmas. We also wish everyone Johnny Mercies as we crisscross this beautiful land for the Yuletide. Let's start with what you need to know as we all prepare for the year 2020. The new minimum wage in Nigeria will take effect from December 2019. Yes, this December. So salaries for December 2019 will be calculated based on the new minimum wage. Bravo to President Muhammadu Buhari. From January 1st, 2020, now talking about year 2020, VAT rate in Nigeria will become 7.5%. You will also do well to take steps to register for the nationwide JTB team. The Honorable Federal Minister of Finance has informed the public that the FRS is in discussions with the banks with a view to beginning the implementation of the policy requiring TIN for operation of bank accounts at a convenient time in the new year. Be that as it may, it will be nice if you take steps to acquire TIN for yourself and for your company if you have one. All you need to do is to visit the nearest tax office, be it State Internal Revenue Service or FRS, and provide the details on your screen. Better still, do it yourself online by downloading the JTB app on the Google Play Store and inputting the information on your screen. Welcome once again. There is a brand new executive chairman at the Federal Inland Revenue Service and a brand new board to assist him in the onerous duty of raising the much needed revenue for the provision of infrastructures and protection of lives and property. The journey to the chairmanship of the FRS began for Mr. Muhammad Nami on Monday the 9th of December, when President Muhammadu Buhari forwarded his name and that of 13 others to the Senate for confirmation as Executive Chairman FRS and members of the FRS board. The Senate responded swiftly by sending the executive communication to its Committee on Finance for the screening of the nominees. The Finance Committee, led by Senator Olamilekan Adeola, screened the nominees on Tuesday the 17th of December. Less than 24 hours after, the Senate, in a committee of the whole House and subsequently at plenary, confirmed all the nominees on Wednesday the 18th of December. The new FRS board comprises Mr. Muhammad Maman Nami as Executive Chairman, 6 members representing the 6 geopolitical zones of the country: James Ayuba, North Central; Ado Danjuma, Northwest; Adam Baba Muhammad, Northeast; Ikeme Osakwe, Southeast; Adewale Ogunyomade, Southwest; Ehile Adetola Aibambe, South-South. There are also 6 institutional members representing relevant MDAs. Ladidi Baratu Mohammed, representing the Attorney General of the Federation; Godwin Emefiele, CBN Governor; Fatima Hayatu, representing the Ministry of Finance; Mabe Ada, representing Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission; Omar Ajia, representing the NNPC; Deputy Comptroller General of Customs, T.M. Issa, representing the Nigerian Customs Service; and the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, pledged the full support of the Senate for the new FRS board. In a show of full readiness to hit the ground running, the Executive Chairman FRS reported for duty at Revenue House, Abuja, the very morning after the confirmation. Mr. Nami was warmly received by jubilant management and staff of the service, who waited patiently for his arrival. The crowd was ecstatic. The room filled to capacity.
Mr. Chairman, It's my pleasure to welcome you to Federal Inland Revenue Service. You can see from the teeming crowd that have come to receive you, even within a very short notice. It shows the enthusiasm with which they are expecting your resumption. I welcome you to Federal Revenue Service, an agency that plays a major role in funding the nation. We have challenges in terms of our mandate. We know that with your arrival into the system, with the commitment of my colleagues, we are poised to deliver on our mandate. You have high-quality staff and personnel within the service, people who are well dedicated, who are determined to deliver on the mandate. And I believe in the course of your administration, you'll be able to motivate them to give their best to the nation.
I'm overwhelmed by the reception people have accorded me, despite the short notice that I gave to the entire management staff. I appreciate you so much for that gesture, and I hope you will continue to give me that support as we work together to reposition the service, as we work together to raise the revenue bar for this country, as we work together to build capacity for the staff, as we work together to render, to provide some corporate social responsibility to the taxpayers that with their tax payment we are able to work for Federal Inland Revenue.
Tax Matters snatched a chat with the Executive Chairman FIRS.
How do you feel resuming just minutes after the passage of the budget?
I don't feel anything strange from what JJC will feel. You understand? But having said that, I'm happy to be with my professional colleagues. I'm happy to be with the taxmen of the land.
Are you aware of the target that was set for the FIRS? 8 trillion naira for 2020?
8.5 trillion.
5 trillion for 2020.
Point of correction. And he has just scared me until I sit very well and we work as a team. I know. Again, plan is to engage with the staff, engage with taxpayers and all other stakeholders so that they will allow us, they will give us their maximum cooperation and we do what Mr. President has asked us to do in the best way for the country.
The very next morning, Friday the 20th of December, Mr. Nami held a meeting with top management staff of the service. In his brief remarks, Executive Chairman FIRS unveiled a 3-month roadmap containing a 14-point action plan. Among other things, the 3-month roadmap contains a proposed capacity building for staff on the provisions of the Finance Bill, followed by robust public enlightenment on the bill as they affect taxpayers and all and sundry. Also included in the action plan is a reinforcement of the concept of taxpayers is king in a bid to create a truly taxpayer-friendly system.
I briefly unveil my 3-month roadmap on what we want FIRS staff to do, what we want FIRS to look like, and what we want to do for President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. First, on the agenda, and which God's willing will happen between January and March, is strategic retreat to define roles and target setting. There is a finance bill which has been passed to law. We will want, at least in the first or second week, through the tax policy department and the coordinating directors, we have a program for capacity building so that the staff and taxpayers are engaged on the bill. We are going to revamp ITAS operations. We want to treat taxpayers friendly going forward. the stress they pass through to get tax clearance annually cannot be tolerated anymore. So in that case, we are going to review TCC administration process, and we are going to issue policy statement on them, and will require that we will request that every staff adhere to those processes that we are going to put in place. We have an issue that has to do with lien. Whatever the ICT department is doing, we are not trying to say what they have done is wrong. Because through the lien placement, we are able to bring more taxpayers to TaxNet. We must commend them for that. But what we are going to do is to ensure that the process of placing lien will be overhauled, because what is obtainable today is punitive and it is not going to be tolerated.
Mr. Nami also read the Riot Act on corruption in the system, as well as commitment to achieve the 8.5 trillion naira tax collection target set for the service in year 2020.
The problem of tax practice all over the world, the problem of tax administration in Nigeria has to do with the attitude of staff. Please, let's adjust. We have a target of 8.5 trillion naira to collect in 2020. We cannot do it by being on the part of the taxpayers alone. We have to just strike a balance. While we try to help them, we try to see what we can do to achieve that target that has been set. So I appeal to you that while we have promised to be on your part, to take care of staff welfare, to put necessary infrastructures in place, to redefine the business processes, which you can call business reengineering, we will want you to please do things in the right way. You should play safe, because I'm going to collaborate with some security agencies, with tax consultants. I'm going to collaborate with auditors. I'm going to collaborate with NGOs to make sure that we check corruption in the system. Thank you.
Mr. Abioda Ino, who held forth pending assumption of duties by Mr. Nami, responded this way.
Thank you, sir, our executive chairman. And thanks for sharing with us your vision and the roadmap for the next 3 months. I must say, sir, that you are spot on most of the things that you have itemized here for us to do. Our job is cut out for us. And like I promised you yesterday, my colleagues and I are ready to support your administration.
Other top management staff took to the floor to contribute their views to the efforts to move the system forward. The ceremony was concluded with the formal handing over of the handover note to Mr. Nami.
I have here with me what we all have put together as the handover note to the executive chairman, and it is just my honor to hand this over to him.
We wish Mr. Nami the very best in his new assignment, and we pledge our unflinching support. He will need the full cooperation of the various stakeholders in the tax system, beginning at the very top with Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, the Federal Minister of Finance, and the legislature. We believe strongly that this is assured. He and his team would also need the cooperation of staff spread around the country, as well as that of taxpayers and their advisors. The task ahead is indeed enormous.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS calls on all corporate organizations operating in Nigeria to register for the purpose of payment of taxes and obtain a tax identification number TIN. All registered companies must obtain a tax identification number immediately from the nearest FIRS office. You can also collect and return tax registration forms from the Federal Inland Revenue Service Engagement and Enlightenment Tax Teams, FEET, on compliance checks exercised in your area. A company which is yet to commence business after at least 6 months of incorporation must pay a pre-operational levy of 20,000 naira in the first year and 25,000 naira for subsequent years to obtain its tax clearance certificate TCC. Note that filing and payment of VAT and withholding tax returns must be done on or before the 21st day of every month. Register for VAT. File all tax returns as and at when due. Be a responsible corporate citizen of Nigeria. It pays to pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Tax collectors and tax advisors, call them tax consultants if you like, belong to one umbrella body, the CITN, the only body statutorily recognized as a regulator of tax practice in Nigeria. All tax administrators and tax practitioners are expected to be fully registered as members of the CITN. Entry point is associate membership with potential elevation to fellowship after fulfilling certain conditions. On Saturday, 14th December 2019, the CITN inaugurated a new set of fellows, 329 in all, bringing the total number of CITN fellows to 4,020. What does fellowship of the CITN confer on recipients?
Let me emphasize that with your conferment as fellows, much more is expected of you as members. You are therefore expected to strive at all times to enhance the respect, admiration, and good name of the Institute. By conducting yourself in a courteous and professional manner, not only will you be establishing your reputation in the taxation community, but you will also be helping to build an institute which will be a role model for other professionals. It is very important that we all up our antes as professionals. We need to build capacities. As fellows of this institute, it is expected that you know everything. And people will not be asking too much if they ask you questions. It is your duty to be on top of what is going on around the world.
The first thing I'm going to say, and I will be building on what our president has said, is to recognize that this is a position of leadership. What is happening today is a big deal. And I want you to give yourself a round of applause. If you don't consider it as a big deal, I do. And that is why in my profile, it is the first professional affiliation that I mentioned. I'm proud to be a member of this institute. This platform has served me since my first encounter with it and continues to serve me. It has given me a voice, and it can do similarly for everyone. As professionals, professionalism should be our watchword. And learning and character should be our watchword. So we have to stay loyal to certain minimum standards. So we need to be faithful to the ethics of the profession. We need to lead with integrity. We need to know the tax architecture of Nigeria. The president said, people will ask you questions. God forbid that they ask basic questions and we are scratching our heads. This is not a game of who wants to be a millionaire where you can call a friend, you can, what other alternatives? So it will be embarrassing. So we need to know the tax architecture of Nigeria. We need to know the tax policy of Nigeria. We need to know the tax laws of Nigeria. We need to know the cases that have been decided in Nigeria. Because therein, you will find the Nigerian tax jurisprudence. So we need to be abreast of development. And you are coming on board at a time when things are changing rapidly. The Institute at least since I joined, I've been articulating and clamoring for a situation where finance bill will accompany the budget, the appropriation bill. To the glory of God, this year we saw it happen. As fellows, you need to be on top of the changes introduced by the finance bill. You need to have the changes on your fingertips. And not just knowing the changes, you need to be able to analyze them and look at the changes that may fall of expectation. Changes that may be in contradiction or contradictory to the national tax policy. Changes instead of advancing that may be retrogressive, and then begin to join the conversation so that you can make your contribution in advancing the Nigerian tax jurisprudence. You need to know that this is a journey, not a destination. And you are in a position to take stock of where you are. It's not a decoration.
High point of the evening was a conferment of fellowship on 329 members as fellows of the Institute.
Fellowship of the Institute is the highest position a member of the Institute can attain in his or her career as a tax professional, and it comes with attendant benefits, including special recognition during the Institute's events, as well as significant obligations. Mr. President, you have standing before you 329 associate members of the Institute. They've been members for upwards of 5 years. They've been paying their subscriptions regularly. They've been attending the programs of the Institute, and they've all earned the required mandatory credit number of hours. I can vouch for all of them that they are all members in good standing. I hereby present them to you to be conferred with the prestigious Fellowship Award of the Institute.
Dear professional colleagues, by the powers conferred on me by the charter of our great institute as the President Chairman in Council of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, I hereby call on all conferees to raise up your right hands and take the oath of allegiance as follows. I do solemnly declare that I shall always 1. Comply with the provisions of the Institute's Charter. Bear true allegiance to the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
Star of the event was Basi Edidong Efyong, who became a fellow at 22. Another high point of the evening was the conferment of Award of Excellent Service to the Institute on Ahmed Mohamed Pate, a fellow of the Institute. Some of the fellows who spoke with tax matters displayed an understanding of the tax ahead of them.
During the speech of the special guest of honor and the president, they emphasized on leadership and you being a mentor to others. So what does this mean to you?
What it means is that we are growing gradually to carry us, the younger ones, along, to educate them about the career, the profession, also to provide a platform for them, a labeling environment whereby they too can grow and grow in the profession. Also desire to be a member of the institute in the nearest future.
I'm delighted today that I'm part of those that receive their fellowship, and I promise, but in the ethics of this profession, that I'm going to uphold it, and then distinguish myself by making Nigeria to excel in revenue and tax collection system.
The ethics of the profession has to be upheld So we show that by leading others and making others to take the right path.
From all of us at Tax Matters, big congratulations to the brand new fellows. More ink to your pen. To all our viewers, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous year 2020.